What's up, everybody? Welcome back and welcome to Thursday, December 5th, day 60 of climbing the mountain. Getting into the check-in, weighed in at 341.6 pounds today. That is back to our best so far. I think we're 341.6 some days ago. I don't know off the top of my head, but it's been nearly a week, I think, if not a week. So that's great. That puts us in a good position to reach new heights here, so looking forward to that. Moving to blood pressure, that measured at 139/75. That's really good. The 75, I think it's the diastolic number. That's the lowest it's ever been. It's been tied with that a couple of times, but that's really good. And the 139 is not too far off of where we want to be either, so really happy about that. For sleep, the pendulum swung the other way, so I ended up sleeping for about 13 hours overnight. It was not exactly a straight shot. I got up to go to the bathroom and I gotta spit stuff out of my mouth sometimes from where the CPAP mask tries to drown me, but um, altogether it was about 13 as best as I could tell. Moving to food for today's the clean eating day, last day of the week for that, so I had a bowl of Crispix and a fruit, yogurt, and protein shake for breakfast. Didn't end up having lunch. Realistically, my breakfast was the lunch because I woke up at like 12:30, so you can count that either way if you want. But by the time I thought about eating again, it was dinner time, so ended up eating a little bit more. But I had brown rice, chicken, and carrots. And then for snacks throughout the day, I had 3 snack bags of the popcorn. Now I'll move straight over to the MyFitnessPal chart. So really good day altogether. Um, I I went over on sugar and carbs, and I think that's more or less because I drank so much milk today. I've got a gallon of milk that I fell behind on, so the expiration date was yesterday. So I'm trying to swill it down as fast as I can. Today seemed like a good opportunity, so I ended up drinking a lot of it. I don't know, probably like half a gallon or more, maybe even 3/4. But I think that was the real big it factor here and why the couple numbers are over. But all in all, really good day. Proud of that. I think I ate a little bit later and a lot more than I'd like to, so hopefully that doesn't influence the weight tomorrow, but we'll see. Uh, then I wanted to report also that not a fan of the carrots in the slightest. It took me probably like an hour to eat dinner because I was choking those down. Um, I I don't mind them as much when I'm putting them in with the rice and the chicken, and I thought I had to chop them up as finely as possible. I, and I will say that I did not do a good job of the as possible. I left them in chunks, and even like a half cup of the sliced carrots ends up being like a lot, so it kind of takes over the meal. But strictly for the cause, I ate that. Um, it's not as bad as I make it out to be, but it's no green beans. And I'll get over into talking points. So, a few things. Moved into the basement today. It took me a few hours to get that set up and then cleaned. My basement, before I had moved into the house, the previous owner had reported that the basement flooded, and so they pretty much did a demolition job on the basement. So the floor is in really rough shape, and I've kind of left it that way. So it's it was tough to find a flat spot that would be conducive to filming. And then also, like, everything is all rubble, so I cleaned up a lot of that. Um, it's not pretty yet, but it'll do and it'll get better. I think the thing after editing this is just finding a better camera angle is going to be a thing. But now that I've seen where the problem is, I can work on that. Um, then, as far as the video itself with the exercises, I noticed this time a lot more than ever my gut comes out of my shirt a lot, so I apologize for that if that bothers anybody. It doesn't, it's not really receding as much as it is just like becoming loose skin, so I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work out. I'm hoping that it will start to recede as I get lighter, but if not, we'll find a way to deal with it. But in the meantime, just want to let everybody know it doesn't bother me really that much. It did at first, and especially like if I'm out in public, it'd be a big thing. But as far as the videos, it doesn't really bother me, so no worries there, and hope it doesn't bother anybody else. And then this is the second attempt at the new exercises. I'm going to leave most, if not everything, normal speed, just so that we can study the film. Brian gave me a lot of um, coaching on what I did, so I'll share that with everybody. But in the meantime, I'm gonna leave it normal speed so we can figure out what I'm doing. And then on that note, I'll start getting into his feedback. So um, he wanted me to go with the 202 tempo, and I didn't do a good job of establishing the tempo. And I watched the film with Brian, and it became really obvious that I'm either descending a little bit too fast on some of them, and then with a lot of the exercises, I'm coming up way too quickly, which it's easy to do. It's difficult to, you know, push or pick yourself up when, I guess, slowly, so that was understandable. But the first thing Brian thought to do was show me a scene from the movie Whiplash where a conductor is trying to get his drummer to play the right tempo, and he does it so poorly that he throws a chair at him. So that can't be good. That was where his mind went to. But he suggested that I try to do a 3 count to slow myself down instead of limiting myself to 2. So that's going to be my main thing right now, is trying to get the tempo correct. And he told me that eventually we'd be moving it out to like an 8-second tempo, so I'm going to have to get used to it anyways. Or I better fall in love with it pretty quick, is what I'm understanding. And then also along with that, with the tempo, it kind of explained to me that it should be like a 2-0-2-0-2-0. So the reps shouldn't have any break between them. So it should be 2-0-2, then straight into the next one the whole way through. And also not locking out weights just to keep the tempo and maintained. Then as far as the exercises themselves, I'll go over notes in case anybody's interested in that. So there's a lot. So starting, let's go with the single leg swap. Uh, Nothing here. I flirted with the idea of picking the weight up, but I still got a little bit of work to do there. But Brian offered that if anyone wanted to make that exercise more difficult, you could close your eyes, so you take your sight sense out of the equation. If you watch that part of the video, I finish my 10 exchanges in my hands, and then you can't see my head, but I close my eyes, and you see how that ended. Not well, spoiler alert. And then for the shoulder complex that he has me do, that I've adapted the bungee cords to. A couple things. First and foremost, it's a warm up, so he wanted me to increase the speed on it and try to get it done pretty quickly. And then also the pull apart where I'm pulling the band out in front of my chest. He wanted me to go a little bit lower so it's on my nipple, right? Um, then moving to third world squat, he suggested that I keep my his thing is the proud chest and keep your head up. So I tried to do that really well today. I think I did an alright job there. The glute bridge, I tried to pick up a little bit more, pick my hips up some more, get everything activated. RKC Plank, I did figure out that part of my problem with sagging my knees is that I'm not really holding myself on my foot or my toes well enough. I was letting my foot sag. So once I picked my foot up, I think it made it look like I was bridging a little bit straighter. I think I may have figured that out on my own. With the goblet squat, the thing was the tempo, but then also a recurring theme is going to be keep a proud chest and your head up. So try to do those a little bit better today. Push. Alright, so microphone cut out on me and I almost fell for the speaking to dead air again, but we caught it. So I was gonna say push-ups are still a nightmare for me. Just the lowering and raising at the tempo makes it far and away more difficult. Um, I can get a couple of them with the tempo, and the funny thing is that me pushing as hard as I can up is kind of falls in line with the tempo. So it's not that I'm making an effort to do it at 2 seconds. It's just the struggle is real. And I'll also offer when I do get tired and I'm having difficulty pushing, I'm using my left leg to kind of like tap the ground on my way up just to give me a little boost. So I'm cheating a little bit in the meantime until I get good enough at them. With the offset split squat, he wanted me to keep my front knee straight and then just lower my back leg down, but not touching the ground. So keeping the tempo was difficult here. I tried to. I remembered partway through, and I think I started to do a better job of it. But that's the main thing there. And again, proud chest, head up. Then moving on to the dumbbell rows. So we decided that the 25-pound dumbbell that I was using wasn't getting the job done. So Brian offered that I could do what's called a landmine row. So I just fill a barbell with weight and then row one side of it. And he suggested that also that I do that on a weightlifting bench rather than the chair, so my back wouldn't seem to be as rounded. Um, I left me trying to set this up almost completely unedited. It turned into quite a blooper reel. I thought maybe I could load both sides of the bar and that would work, but if you want to watch that, you can see it doesn't. And you'll notice that in my second set, I went back to the way Brian told me to do it. Um, Haste makes waste, I guess. There's no corners to cut here. But then this is another one where I was trying to straighten my back. It looked kind of rounded in the first week. I do think that maybe I just have a meaty back or my lats are meaty, something like that. But uh, it seems like I'm straightened out and I feel straightened out. It looks like my back just kind of humps up. I'm not sure. It just on my on the upper back though. And that was one where I tried to do a really good job with the tempo. I think I succeeded there for the most part. And the last thing I have is the Romanian deadlifts. So the thing here that I was doing was we kind of decided that I was setting up to do a deadlift rather than, or I was getting ready to set up to do a deadlift rather than what the exercise is supposed to be. So I was letting my knees come forward, and he wanted them, if anything, to come backwards a little bit, and the exercise is done by letting your butt go out further and further while keeping your knees straight. So I try to do a good job of that. I think it succeeded there pretty well. Sorry, I think my animals opened up my door. So I think that was it. The breathing I sped up, but and I also want to get a better angle on that so you can see how much air I am letting into my stomach and I'm not letting my chest rise. You can see it sort of from that angle, but I'd like to get like a ground level angle so you can really see it. I'm just gonna go over my notes briefly here. I think that was it. The other thing with my grip holding exercise, I have been having a problem with like weakness coming up towards the end of the week, so Brian suggested that instead of where I'm holding way more than I need to sometimes recently, like in the last couple of weeks, I'll be going up to high 40s, low 50s sometimes and holding it. That's not staying true to what the exercise is supposed to be. I'm supposed to be holding 30% of it. So the thought is there that I could stay closer to the 30 and it wouldn't tax my central nervous system as bad over time. So I'm trying to do that as well. And I believe that is it as far as I know. If I find anything else that I missed, I'll bring it up tomorrow. But it's just turned midnight. Did a poor job of time management today, so I'm gonna miss out on some sleep today. Um, Learned a lot though. I got the setup done, so that won't be an issue. And then ideally next week, Wednesday, I won't be making up, or Tuesday, and I'm not sure where I was going with that, but yeah, oh, I know. So Tuesday, I won't have to make up a billion videos and be up till 4 in the morning, and that won't cause me to my sleep to go out of whack for the next 2 days. Lots of elements that shouldn't bother us for next week, but um, I'm going to. I still got to take out garbage and whatnot, so I'm not going to bed yet. And I'm going to take a shower so I don't go to bed sweaty. Uh, but I am headed that way as soon as possible, and uploading this is going to take some time. So while this is turning into a video, and while it's uploading to YouTube, I'm going to take those two opportunities to go get stuff done so I can get to sleep as fast as possible. And that being said, I'll cut it off and stop yapping. So thanks everybody for watching. We'll keep climbing the mountain, and I'll see you tomorrow. And this is 2 months, 2 month anniversary. We'll celebrate tomorrow. Have a good night.